Hi, this is Jim Jordan with Creative Vibrant Health, and today I want to go over part 5 of looking inside a NES scan, a NES bioenergetic scan. And this is the 5th and last part of the series. So let's just get right into it. Let me do my share screen here, and we're going to go to looking inside a NES scan. We're going to look at, we've been looking at my scan, my last scan. I did, it looks about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. So we've gone through most of the scan screens already. The last few are really interesting. This makes the NES scan it starts with the bioenergetic factors, the energy strength of the organs, the meridian flow, the emotional factors of stresses and traumas, the immunity. And now there's one other screen here called energy rejuvenation, which are on here. These are these purple priorities. Look, there's a lot of them wow, there's a lot on that day for me. Okay. These are all blockages in the bioenergetic field. So these are points that you could address with acupuncture, acupressure, or the NES Health My Health device, which has, it's a pulsed electromagnetic field device that sends frequencies. You put the device either over the heart center or the points themselves. We got large intestine, lungs, appendix, bladder. These are all blockages in the field. Also, massaging these areas would be helpful just to get the energy moving here. Clicking on any one of these, you can see, you can scan down and you can read about it. All these points have mind-body associations too. So the last paragraph here, the mind-body association, for example, for the large intestine point, represents our ability to let go. Problems arise when we try to hold on to people, possessions, old ways of thinking that no longer serve us. Wow. Does that ever resonate for some of us? Maybe it certainly does for me. So, anyway, I'm not going to go over all of these points, but you can see that there's going to be the purple ones are the main ones to address. They can sometimes relate to an injury in that part of the body, or a physical obstruction too, or an energetic obstruction. So they are a piece of the puzzle that fills this amazing, complex matrix of information that we get through the NES scan. The next screen over is the environmental screen. The environmental screen relates to our sensitivity to environmental toxins. And you can see there's multiple subscreens here. Home, work, and personal care products, this asbestos I was reacting to. Again, this is just showing a sensitivity. It doesn't necessarily mean that I'm exposed to asbestos, parabens, petrochemicals. There's usually a combination of these sensitivities for each person in the scan. Solvents is another sub-screen of the environmental screen. Toxic metals, again, this is the sensitivity. It doesn't tell you necessarily that you have a large amount of these in your body, but what I would say is that it's important to note if metals come up consistently for a person. I will probably recommend a hair analysis test so we can verify that, but I've seen it is corroborated with other lab tests. So I'm convinced that this toxin screen is very accurate. Agricultural chemicals too, fungicides, insecticides, just fantastic foods. Basically, these are either food-based toxins, or in this case, advanced glycation end products is the end product of high carbohydrate levels, potentially. Mold, this is a big one too. Molds are great. It's really important to test these. I had a client recently who tested purple for 2 molds, and she had tested purple a couple of times for one of them. She had a lab test that tested positive for the one mold that the scan had tested positive for twice. So it is tracking it is no doubt it is tracking this. So molds, and then the last one here is radiation. Radiation, electromagnetic fields, microwave, far infrared. This scan, I was not reacting to it. I've been doing some things that are helping support my bioenergetic field in response to radiation lately. So maybe that's helping. I think it might be. I think it probably is actually. I actually feel better using the technology. I'll do another video. I'll do a video on that product line sometime in the near future too. So that's the environmental screen, which is really important because, as we know, our health is going to be compromised if we're in a soup of environmental toxins, whether it's chemicals, metals, radiation. This is where we pick it up in the scan, what you're reacting to, what you're sensitive to, and it helps us determine the protocol and the course of action. The next screen over is nutrition. Nutrition screen is, they got many different screens here too. You can see the nutrition fields. We have vitamins. Vitamin E came up as a priority for me. So you can always, when something is a priority, you click on it, you can see which foods are high in vitamin E. It shows you a picture really nicely. These foods, whole grains, nuts and seeds, green vegetables, of course. And it lists the foods at the bottom. Could be a supplement you recommend too for this. Again, this is saying that your body may have trouble metabolizing this nutrient. I like to also corroborate this. If the person is local here, I can do their live blood analysis and see if the live blood shows some deficiencies. The hair analysis can show issues, deficiencies, or surpluses in the mineral screen, mineral fields. So it can verify the minerals. And in fact, every time I have had purple priorities for a client in the mineral screen and I've done a hair analysis, those minerals came up as issues. So an example being, one client had a zinc copper, kept coming up purple, and did a hair analysis, and what do you know, zinc copper ratio was way out of whack. In his case, zinc was way too low. So yes, the scan does give you guidance on nutrition. Mineral fields, very important. Fat fields, the essential fatty acids are very important there. Protein fields, this is going to tell us about amino acids. A lot of times amino acids, these first 8 essential amino acids, if they're purple or even orange maybe for some people, they come up, it'll tell us that we need to get some protein supplementation coming in or adjust their digestion, support their digestion. A lot of times people start taking Perfect Aminos, which is an amino acid supplement I recommend, which is amazing, will clear any protein amino acid imbalances up pretty quickly. In my case, there's nothing a priority there. Antioxidant fields. There you go. Everything's covered here in this scan. Digestion, metabolism is a subsection here. We got glucose metabolism. It's not purple, but it's orange, should give me a sign. Don't be careful with those carbohydrates, Jim. You're getting a little too high on those. I understand. Malabsorption also. This ties into the infoceuticals. These infoceuticals that are listed here are going to be related to absorption of nutrients. EI7 is gallbladder integrator, and that is going to give us information for basically for fat digestion, primarily absorption issues. Blood oxygenation is a subscreen here. These are the nutrients related to oxygenation, the blood cell function. And the last subscreen here is sensitivities. So if there's general sensitivities, gluten grains, other grains, nothing there for me. Legumes, tree nuts. I don't eat beans anyway, so it's probably a good idea. I don't. I knew already I had trouble digestion with legumes. Nuts, some people are sensitive, not me. Citrus fruit, thank God it's not nothing there for me either. I love citrus fruit. And the last one is nightshades. There you go. Now, the last screen before the recommendations is called Life Journey. Life Journey is an entire universe in and of itself because it covers sort of where you are. I guess it's the closest thing to sort of the spiritual reading of the scan. There are 9 subscreens. I'm not going to go over all this, but I want you to get an idea just how thorough this is. This, I usually, for most people, when they do a scan, I let them review their life journey screen on their own after the appointment. One, because to go through all of this in a scan, I mean, we could hit the priorities, the purple, but I really want them to dive into it and really study it. So for an example, I'm gonna just look for the purple here for me. If I have, yeah, generosity. Okay, here it comes under the Be the Change screen. Metamorphosis, emergence, regeneration, transformation. So it's about transformation. Generosity came up. Boom, here it is. Generosity is often thought of as an act of giving only, but generosity requires us to know that giving and receiving are part of one another, that we must give to others just as we must receive from others to keep it flowing. So this really is a beautiful part of the scan because it helps you see there is always a polarity to these qualities. Anyway, for me, I think I need to learn more about receiving. That's part of one of my difficulties I've had. And it's just confirming that. So it sometimes will help. This life journey screen can help develop a theme for the 3 to 4 week scan, the infoceutical protocol, a spiritual theme. And that's something, and again, I'm not going to go into all these screens, but essentially there is a ton of information integrating Jungian psychology, just basic principles of spirituality, emotional factors. Everything is loaded here. So I let people, after they've reviewed the scan, they start their infoceuticals, I tell them take a couple hours or an hour at least on an evening or a weekend and go through your life journey screen and see what gems you can pull out. And I would say for myself, every few scans or so, it can be the most important part, and it just can tie into whether meditation practice I'm doing or some transformational personal growth work I'm doing. I integrate this information into that process, and it's fantastic. Last screen is recommendations. This is where we talk about infoceuticals, high priority, the top. In this case, I took 3 infoceuticals. I think I had 2 others already in my office. So, but normally there's 5 recommendations. And the infoceuticals are going to be the infoceutical, and the dosage, 15 drops is the default adult dosage. And the time period is going to be 3 to 4 weeks, usually 3 weeks. You'll finish at 15 drops. You'll finish the infoceutical in 3 weeks. And the bottom area here is My Health Functions. These are the top My Health Functions, which would be under the Energy Rejuvenation screen, these blockages. And if you have a My Health device, you would be using that to treat those blockages. If not, you would just be doing either acupressure, acupuncture, massage, some type of laser therapy, even on those points. So that is the recommendation screen. Pretty simple, straightforward. So that is finally, it took us quite a few videos here to cover this because there's so much information in a NES scan. So we started energy source, of course, went all the way through energy strength, energy flow, which is the meridians, the mind-body screen, the emotional shocks and traumas, immunity, energetic stars, which are going to be these more complex infoceuticals that impact metabolic functions in the body, the rejuvenation screen, these are the blockages in the body field, environmental, sensitivities, nutritional, balancing we might need to do in your spiritual path with the life journey. And that is a NES scan. So back to stop sharing the screen. So I just really have felt, in a nutshell, very strongly about the NES bioenergetic scan being the #1 thing I can recommend for my clients as far as assessments, how to help guide and design a protocol and a program. It may not be the exclusive thing we do, but it's a big chunk of it, to get us on the right path of dealing with the primary factors, which to me are energy cultivation, correct information, which is the information that the infoceuticals deliver to get the organs and glands and everything working properly, and the raw materials that you need to build your hormones, neurotransmitters, enzymes, muscles, bones, blood cells, everything. So energy, information, raw materials, all that comes out of the NES bioenergetic scan. And I can highly recommend this for anybody who's really interested in diving deep and getting a resolution in their health. In my case, I had been 2 years into a very serious health crisis without any progress, and NES is what turned it around, without a doubt. That was the start. That was the start, and continues to be something I use to fine tune myself. Once you have your breakthrough in your health, you may not want to do the scan. You don't have to do the scan every month. I do it every few months myself now. But to get a breakthrough in health, I recommend doing, 5 or 6 months straight through, working the protocols that come up and the complementary therapeutic programs that we come up with, or lifestyle changes. And I can promise you, if you give it your all, and there's going to be a shift in your health, because it's every person I know that has really given it their all and committed and had some patience will make a change in their health. So patience and persistence are the key things when you struggle with your health, and never giving up. So I hope this 5-part series has been helpful for people. These are all going to be on a special page on my website, just for Inside a NES Scan videos, documenting each of the screens, so you know what you're getting into when you do before you do the scan. And even for those who've been getting scans, sometimes they need a little refresher. I had a client recently who said she started watching the first 4 videos, and she said it really helped. So I'm really happy to hear that. Even if you've done scans and think you understand it, sometimes a little review helps, and it helps you see just how this is all working. All of these aspects of health are being integrated together into your program. So this is Jim Jordan with Create Vibrant Health, completing my 5-part series on Inside a NES Scan, and hoping if you have any questions, you can call me at my office at 541-482-2250, or email me at jim@createvibrant.health.com. So Jim Jordan with Create Vibrant Health, wishing you a great day.